Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first football-related video of the 2022 to 2023 NFL season. How we are going to be doing a full prediction, probably a way too early prediction considering we're about 2 months away from preseason, of the NFL. We're going to go team by team with their schedule, and we're just going to predict them. We're going to start in the AFC West with the Los Angeles Chargers making some big free agency signs, solidifying that the O-line, as well as adding big names to the defense like Khalil Mack and J.C. Jackson, along with this only being Herbert's third year, and he's already arguably a top 5 quarterback in the league. I mean, they have high expectations, but they are always the Los Angeles Chargers, which might hurt them in the long run. So, first up, opening at home against the Raiders. I think that's a pretty solid win to open up the season. Against Kansas City in Kansas City, that's going to be a close one, but I think that one still goes to the Chiefs. They beat the Jaguars and the Texans. Now with the Browns, here's what we're going to be doing for the Browns predictions. We have no idea how much of the season Deshaun Watson will play. He could be suspended for only a few weeks. He could be suspended for the whole season. I'm going to say he's going to be suspended for weeks 1 through 7. We're just going to go with what, I don't know, like the middle point. So, we're going lowball suspension, just say 7 weeks. So that being said, with no Deshaun Watson, I think it should be a decent win against the Browns. I believe these two teams faced last year. How did that go? Yeah, they did face last year. LA beat them by 5, and they've only gotten better since. So I do think that's going to be a win for the... My mic's still going? Okay, my mic's still fine. Oh, hell yeah, Look at that. Gotta love that. Gotta love the camera just deciding not to work. There we go. That's a little bit better. Alright, I think at home against the Broncos, they take that one. They win against the Seahawks. After the bye, I think they beat the Atlanta Falcons. 49ers after a bye. I think this one goes to San Fran, especially considering it's in California. Second game against the Chiefs, they actually win. Away against the Cardinals, Cardinals win a lot of those like high-scoring shootouts. I'm assuming Kyler's gonna be there. I think this might actually be a trap game for the Chargers. I think this one's going to the Cardinals. Against the Raiders at home, I'm gonna go with Raiders. Beat the Dolphins. Again, I predict that by this point, Malik Willis will be starting for the Tennessee Titans. They'll still have Derrick Henry, a great defensive and offensive line. I'm going to go with the Titans for this one. But I think they finish strong against the Colts, lose to the Rams, and at home, or away against the Broncos, I think the Broncos take it. So that leads them to 10-7, which is like the most Chargers record you can imagine. So they got a shot at making the playoffs. The Raiders, moving on to the Raiders, they of course locked up keeping Derek Carr and Max Crosby, new head coach, and they signed a guy named Devontae Adams. And last season, even with a Just whole bunch of controversy and a whole bunch of just craziness going on in the organization and on the roster. They still managed to be one possession away from beating the Bengals, who won the whole conference. So Raiders are a sleeper pick this year for me. I think they beat the Cardinals, lose to Titans. I think they actually beat the Chiefs both times. It just seems like this year like last year, the Raiders just kind of have the Chiefs' number. So where's the other Kansas City game? There we go. After the bye week, your team is 5-2. All right. Beat the Texans. I feel like the Saints could be a trap game. They got great defense. Quarterback is still an issue, but I think Jameis will be alright. That secondary on the Raiders might be the only downside, and the secondary for the Saints should do a good job keeping Derek Carr and Devontae Adams at bay. So I'm going to actually go for the Saints in the Superdome. Raiders beat the Jags. Raiders, Colts, I think that's going to be a pretty good Raiders win. Away against the Broncos, I think that goes to the Broncos. Beat the Seahawks. Beat the Chargers. I already went over that at home. You're not beating the Rams in their own stadium. Ooh, I actually feel like... Actually, no, yeah, we're going Raiders. But then Steelers. This is like the perfect game where the Steelers, for some reason, beat a team that's way better than them. They do that all the time in the last, 5 games of the season. They'll be mediocre, outside shot the playoffs, then we'll just beat actually good teams randomly. Lose so for it. Or it's a classic rivalry. 49ers, Raiders at home with the Raiders. I think that one goes to Las Vegas. So you finish 11-6. That's better than the Chargers. Moving on to the Denver Broncos. I already have you pretty much splitting your conference games. Yeah. Week 1 versus Seattle. Yeah, Russell Wilson's going to get revenge on his old team. I think the 49ers are the first bump in the road that they struggle with. And then they lose to the Raiders. They're now 2-2. You know, it's going to take a couple of weeks for Russell Wilson to really start shining. But then I think they come back. They have a strong game against the Colts. Lose to the Chargers. And then they have an easy stretch into the bye week against the Jets and Jaguars. Coming back, facing Tennessee in an away game, I think because of the bye week, they're going to be well rested, and they take one against the Titans. They beat the Panthers in Baltimore. This is going to be a tough run. This is going to be one where I have to think about the matchups for a second. I feel like the secondary of the Ravens will be better than the passing attack of the Broncos. I think the Ravens' defense in general should do a good job shutting them down. I think this one actually goes to the Ravens. Lamar Jackson does have a winning record against Russell Wilson. And I think they're honestly a more complete team. But you beat the Chiefs in your homes. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna have the away teams win in the Kansas City, Denver games. Keep the streak going for Kansas City against Denver for one more game before they win the Week 17 matchup, just because I think it's fun. Russell Wilson versus the Los Angeles Chargers. This is going to be a fun one, but again, at home in LA. And then I think in Mile High they beat the Cardinals. That gives you an 11-6 record. Again, moving on, we got the Kansas City Chiefs. They lost Tyreek Hill, Tyrann Mathieu. but they gained Karloftis, will help out a lot on that defensive line. They also signed Justin Reed from the Texans, who won't be a perfect replacement for Tyrann Mathieu, but he should still get the job done. I feel like this is going to be a more balanced team. The offense will definitely take a dip, but the defense should definitely step up. That being said, they beat the Cardinals away. They beat the Colts. Bucks, this could be an interesting one. Of course, a Super Bowl rematch. The Bucks secondary and the Chiefs passing game, I think, are pretty, like, even. But if it's about between... I think this one goes to Kansas City. And then it's the Buffalo Bills' basically ritual of kicking the Kansas City Chiefs' ass in Arrowhead in the regular season, but then probably losing the if they meet in the postseason. 49ers beat the Chiefs at home. Now their Super Bowl rematch. Generally a more complete team. I'm sure Trey Lance will be starting by now. After the bye, you're off 3 straight losses. You come back strong against the Titans, beat the Jaguars, at home against the Rams. I'm actually going to go Kansas City at home. This is going to be a shootout. I feel like this is one of those games where Matthew Stafford's going to just throw a crap ton of interceptions. Away against the Bengals, I think that's actually going to go towards the Bengals. But you beat the Texans, you beat the Seahawks to finish off the season 10-7. So, yeah, that's a pretty dang good division in the West. Let's move over to the AFC North with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Lose to the Bengals away. Patriots always beat the Steelers. At this point, however, Browns don't have, even without Deshaun Watson, I think they're a better team than the Steelers. But don't worry, you beat the Jets at home. I think the Bills get revenge. Or Bucks take that one. Miami versus... I actually think you lose both games heading into the bye. So, like, you're struggling a lot. You're 1-7? Ugh. But then you come back, get that win against the Saints. I think you can win a trap game against the Bengals. That improved Bengals O-line is really going to be tested up against TJ Watt. This is going to be either a really fun game or extremely boring game. But I think they have a decent shot beating... I like the Colts. I know... Oh, God. So far, I've had the Colts going 0-5. I like the Colts, but... 5-7 seems right so far. You can beat the Falcons. I think you're going to split with the Ravens. Beat the Panthers. Actually, no. This sounds like a trap game, you know? Lose to the Browns. So, yeah, 7-10, Mike Tomlin's first losing season. Browns, now remember, Week 8 is when they get Deshaun Watson back. I'm going to be predicting just... He's definitely getting suspended for some amount of time. We just don't know for how much. I think the Falcons actually upset. But I think you do beat the Patriots. I think the Ravens were in your first matchup. Deshaun Watson is back. It's like, whoa, what's going to happen? You lose to the Super Bowl. One of the Super Bowl favorites in the Cincinnati Bengals. But after the bye week, you come back strong against the Dolphins. Should be a close one between you and the Bills, but I still got it going towards the Bills. Bucks coming off a bye week. But then, you start gaining momentum. I actually got you beating the Bengals away. Yeah, I can imagine them splitting. Beat the Ravens at home, beat the Saints at home, beat the... Actually, we're gonna have you lose to the Bengals. I don't know what I was saying. But yeah, you finished strong. 5 of your last 6 are wins to finish 10-7. A lot of 10-7 teams because the AFC is just going to be cannibalizing itself. Cincinnati Bengals defending AFC champs. Bengals versus Cowboys in Jerry World. Still going to the Bengals. You beat the Jets. This could be a trap game. This could be a trap game. I love me some trap games, and there's always, every team has that one game. Dolphins, yeah, I feel like Dolphins is definitely a good test. Tyreek Hill will probably burn, your whole team. I think Jasecki's still with the Dolphins, yeah, he was franchise tagged. Dolphins are probably gonna put up a lot of points. On the defensive side of the ball, I think Xavier Howard might give the Bengals some trouble. I think this is a trap game, but you beat. No, I think we're definitely gonna split the Bengals and the Ravens. Bengals at the Saints. Scratch everything I said. This is no. I feel. Yeah, I feel like the Bengals, better team than the Saints. I don't think they're gonna fall to them. Ooh, Titans-Bengals. This is gonna be a fun one. Titans will be looking for revenge against the Bengals, and I actually think they get it. But then, against Kansas City, you're already losing. Against Kansas City, you win. Beat the Browns at home. Since the Bucks, I'm gonna go for the Bengals. I remember, I think this season, or maybe even I think both seasons Brady has played Mahomes in the playoffs. In the regular season, on the Bucks. It's been like a fireworks show for Mahomes, and I can see a similar thing happening. I can definitely see Jamar Chase just burning the secondary. Beat the Patriots. I think you'd drop a home game against the Bills to finish out 12-5. Best record in the conference so far. And last but not least, my Baltimore Ravens. I think we beat the Jets pretty easily. Revenge game against the Dolphins, I think it goes our way. Versus the Patriots, we might have trouble. But I still think we take that one. Against the Bills, I think the Bills are definitely a better team than us. This is a Thanksgiving game, I believe. Should be a fun one, but I still think this could be the Bills' year. Actually, Ravens have a more complete team. Yeah. Beat the Giants. And so far we're on a winning streak, which doesn't sound right. We're gonna give that one to the... We're gonna have the Bengals sweep us again just because us going on a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 game winning streak doesn't sound right. Drop one to the Bucks. This is the trap game for us against the Saints. But I think we come back strong against the Panthers. Beat the Jaguars. Beat the Broncos at home, which I think will be an upset. But lose to Steelers, Bengals, and Browns in our away games. Beat the Falcons to finish 11-6. So there you go. It's the two probably most stacked conferences in the whole league so far have 5 playoff teams. That makes sense. Opening up, this is gonna be the Thursday game. This is gonna be a fun one, but I got the Rams winning. God, this is a tough schedule right off the gate. I still think you beat the Titans, or no, I think the Titans have I think it's one of those matchup things where Derrick Henry's just gonna run the ball down their throats. Lose to the Ravens, beat the Steelers, beat the Chiefs. Coming off the bye, I'm gonna lean towards Bills when it comes to the Packers. Beat the Jets. I feel like the Vikings to get a trap game on them. Bills. I actually think the Patriots will, because by now I think the Bills will have a pretty locked playoff spot and might rest a couple guys, leading to a New England victory. Beat the Bears. Yep. 12-5. Definitely strong contenders to win it all. Moving on to the Patriots, who the Patriots have done nothing all season. So I think it's going to be pretty straight down, pretty obvious which teams you lose against, which teams you win against. I think the Jets actually get a trap game on you. I think you actually no, the Colts are gonna beat the Patriots. Beat the Jets. I feel like the Vikings might be the better team, but I feel like the Patriots are taking this one. Cardinals, Patriots, I think the Patriots might also take one. The Cardinals are a very undisciplined team at the moment. DeAndre Hopkins will probably be injured by now. Yeah. Beat the Dolphins at home, however. You go 8-9, miss the playoffs. That makes sense. Miami Dolphins, you're 2-2 going into week 5 against some really tough teams. You should be proud of yourselves. You lose to the Jets. How do you lose to the Jets? Well, the Jets, they got Chris Olave. Zach Wilson should take a decent jump. CJ Uzama. Snap. Who else did the Jets get? Well, sorry for the absolute assault on your ears there, audience. What's the Jets draft? What'd they get? Oh yeah, no, Sauce Gardner, Johnson. Sorry, Chris Olave, I believe, went to the Saints. Get Garrett Wilson, and Jermaine Johnson. Jets, if they can put, I think, not this year, but maybe next year, Jets might contend for a wild card spot. But we're talking about the Dolphins. Beat the Vikings. Lose to the Lions at home. Trap game. I love my trap games. And I feel like the rest of these are pretty self-explanatory. You got a shot against the Packers. I'll give it to you. 8-9. Miss the playoffs. The Jets. Most of your games are already settled. Lose to the Packers. I think you're actually going to beat the Bears. I hate the Bears this season. I don't know why, but I feel like they have a decent shot being the worst team in their division. Lose to the Vikings. Beat the Lions. I hate to say it, but I think the Jaguars take one against them. Do you beat the Seahawks? Yeah, that's fine. 5-12. I guess a step up, but not a massive step up. Tennessee Titans beat the Giants at home. This will be a fun one, a fun series of games. Actually, I'm going to switch these around. Beat the Texans. Titans, Packers. Last time these two teams met in Lambeau, the Packers absolutely destroyed them. I think the same will happen. Eagles could upset the Titans, but I still feel like Titans on this one. Titans against the Jags. Titans. And then for shits and giggles, they lose their last week game against the Jags. Go 12-5. Colts. Added Matt Ryan. I think that's pretty much it for them. You still beat the Texans, and you beat the Jags. Both times. Beat the Commanders. I feel like the Eagles and the Cowboys. That's a tough one because I think the Colts rushing game will definitely give both teams a struggle, but I don't think their defense will be able to keep up with the opposing team's offense in those two games. I mean, even with the rushing game, it'll be interesting to see Devontae Wyatt. Who? Oh, no. Jordan Davis for the Eagles go up against the stout O-line of the Colts. Vikings have a flashier team, but you're coming off a bye. And I think you lose to Texans in our trap game. No, I'll give it to you, just so you can finish the season with a winning record. 9-8. Missed the postseason. Sorry, guys. Jacksonville Jaguars open up against the Commanders. Commanders are one of those teams I'm just dogpiling on in this video. I think you split the series against the Texans. Preferably, no, we're gonna have the away team win both those games, because I feel like if you're a Jacksonville or a Texan fan attending games, you should be punished, even more than you already are. But hey, no, Giants have a much better draft. Giants, another team that should improve quite a bit. I feel like you beat the Cowboys just because I think it's really funny, and I can see that being a game the Cowboys lose. You finish strong, 4-0 in your last 4 games. After the bye, you go, what, 4-3? That's decent. Finish the season 5-12. I guess a step up, but not massive run. Texans, who have Davis Mills, who's alright. Evan Neal, the new tackle. They technically have some pieces. Not a lot of great pieces, but they have some pieces. I think they lose most of their games. I can see it upsetting. No, I think the Commanders still take it. Texans always do weirdly good against the Cowboys, so I think I'm going to keep the Cowboys over the Texans. And I think that's all their games. 2-15. Texans take the first pick of the draft. And is that... yeah, that's all the AFC. So, the conference winners are the Bengals, the Titans, the Bills. Titans really capitalizing on a fairly easy schedule. And then the Raiders. That's interesting. In the AFC West, I got the Raiders, then the Broncos, and the Chargers, with the Kansas City Chiefs missing the playoffs. And then the other wildcard team being the Baltimore Ravens, which I think that makes sense. Moving on to the NFC, we got the defending champs. Beat the Falcons. Beat the Cardinals. You split against the 49ers. Against the Cowboys, that's pretty... yeah, I feel like a lot of these are self-explanatory. Against the Bucks in Tampa Bay, that one might go towards the Bucks. A revenge game. Cardinals always do weirdly good against the... there we go. I don't know where it's going on. Beat the Seahawks both times in Lambeau with a rested-up Green Bay team. I think you dropped that one. But you finished strong, winning your last 3 to go 12-5. Respectable. Moving on, we got the 49ers. Open up against the Bears. You win. Home opener against the Seahawks. Another win. Beat the Panthers and the Falcons and the... this will be a tough one. Weirdly enough, the Cardinals also do really good against the 49ers, which is something I don't really you wouldn't really expect. Ooh, another fun one. I think I'm going to take the 49ers over the Bucks. 49ers against the Commanders. Cardinals beat the Niners. They go 12-4. Wait, what the? Oh, there's still another game I have to predict. Which one? Oh, against the Seahawks. Seahawks home. That's another. Actually, no. I think that goes to the Niners, but I do think there's a trap somewhere. Maybe against the Saints. Let's go with that. So 49ers go 12-5, just like the Rams. The Cardinals beat the Panthers, I think, because home field advantage. And yeah, beat the Seahawks. I think you drop one. I can see that being a game you drop to the Saints. Drop this one to the Vikings. These two teams have been battling for like the 7th seed both years it's been introduced. It's like neither team really wants to make the playoffs, so they just keep playing hot potato with the 7th seed between each other. Beat the Seahawks. I think you drop it to the Bucks. You can beat the Falcons. I'll go easy on you. I was thinking to make that trap game. Seahawks 0-11 so far. They lose all of their division games. Life without Russell Wilson is tough. But I think you... Actually, no, I kind of think you lose to the Falcons. Let's look for wins. There you go, you beat the Panthers. That's all the easy wins. Okay. Oh, you beat the Giants. Look at you go. I think that's fair, right? Lose to the Bucks. That's fair. 4-13. Seahawks gonna be bad this season. We already know that. They've missed the playoffs this year. Yeah, I think they had a losing record. Opener against the Vikings. This is a game that the Vikings weirdly win at home against the Packers often. Packers-Bucks. It's in the Bucks Stadium. I still think it might go Packers. Beat the Commanders. Beat the Lions. What the Cowboys looking like so far? 1-6. That's tough. Do you drop one to the Eagles? Let's look at these remaining games. I think you take both of these games. I think you drop one to the Eagles. 13-4. Alright. All of these so far, just using the eye test, are lining up with what I would consider the team's win-loss record if you just like didn't give me their schedule and you just based off of how good their team is, which I think that's a good sign. The Vikings are such an inconsistent team. So honestly, you can just go 50-50 with all these games. I think the Cowboys beat you. Lions beat you at home. Beat the Giants. Beat the Bears. 8-9, yeah. Yeah. Lions, I think, have a decent shot at taking the next step. A fun receiving core, and of course, Aiden Hutchinson. Still lose to the Eagles to open up, and still lose to the Commanders, because you're not allowed to have too many nice things. Lose to the Cowboys, because that matchup is kind of written in the stars. I think they face the Seahawks on Thanksgiving, which will be a boring game. Drop that to the Bears, drop that to the Giants. Drop not run. 5-12. Better record, but yeah. To be fair, I think a lot of these games are going to be close. I think the Vikings games will be close, the Bears games will be close. So will the Commanders and Eagles game. I can see you having almost upsetting the Packers. Have we predicted the Bears yet? No. Okay. Drop one to the Giants. Beat the Commanders at home. Drop one to the Cowboys. Beat the Falcons. lose to the Eagles. 6-11. Yeah. A lot of stagnation with all the teams in the North. I really don't see too much changing. Okay. Eagles, who are currently the 1 seed. That's not gonna hold up, probably. I think, of course, you switch them. I think the away team wins in the Cowboys series. Eagles at Washington. I don't like the idea of the Eagles going 4-0. So I think Washington wins that one. But you beat them next time. On Monday Night Football, again, another bad game. You can beat the Giants. You're not beating the Saints. Week 18, I feel like you're gonna already have the division locked. Might rest some guys. I'm gonna go with Giants on that one. Cowboys. How about them Cowboys? You dropped your opener against the Bucs. Actually, no. I'm gonna lock it in right now. You're gonna beat the Bucs, and for a full week straight, you will not hear the end of it on NFL Twitter that the Cowboys beat the Bucs. They will treat that like their Super Bowl, and then they're gonna lose to the Giants. Because it's the Cowboys, you know? It's the Cowboys. You can beat them at home. Against the Commanders, Week 18. Sure. You go 9-8. I can see them definitely getting a wild card spot. The New York Giants. I think you dropped that one against the Panthers. I've been generous with the Giants, so I think I'm going to be a lot tougher on them. 6-11. That makes sense. That makes sense. And finally, Washington. Do they have any games left for me to rank? 5-11. Yeah, there's one game left, which is against the Falcons. I think you dropped that. I got the Commanders finishing last in their division. I'm okay with that. Bucs looking to bounce back, and they're going to lose their games against the Saints. We already know this. It's tradition at this point. But I think you beat everybody else in your division to finish 10-7. Saints. I'm getting wacky with some of these. Oh, it feels weird if I have... Oh, that's weird that the Saints and Bucs I have having the same record. Let's change that. That doesn't sound right. Fine, the Bucs can split against the Saints. Ruin the tradition, as Tom Brady always does. And I think, yep, that's all the division. So, number 1 seed still gonna be the Packers. Don't worry, they'll blow it eventually. Rams at the 2 seed, then the Bucs, then the Eagles, Niners, Cowboys, Saints take the 7th seed. Saints Rams, that could be a good matchup, honestly. That could be a sleeper. Alright, let's go to the... Alright, my camera's been... frickin'... I don't know how long it's been frozen when I'm editing this video. I don't really want to check, so I'm just not gonna. Alright. First up, Ravens versus Raiders. This is gonna be a fun one. It's probably my bias saying it, but I think the Ravens have a more complete team. And I was generous with the Raiders this whole video, having them go 11-6 in the toughest division in football, winning the AFC West. Bills beat the Broncos. No, Titans beat the Chargers. Chargers aren't allowed to have nice things. We gotta remember that. Eagles put up a valiant effort, but they still lose to the Niners. I thought the Niners were... No. Okay. I thought Niners were the 2 seed. Cowboys, Bucks. Bucks. Again, Saints will put up a good effort against the Rams. The 7th seed has been a failure so far. If this goes the way I'm exactly predicting it, then the 7th seed will be 0-6 all time. And they've never been that good. I mean, the Bears Saints game was a travesty. The Colts put in a solid effort against the Bills. They came pretty close. The 7 seeds this year were the Eagles, who, yeah, they got blown out pretty much by the Bucks. And on the AFC, the 7 seed was the Steelers, who, yeah, got beaten really badly by the Chiefs. Alright, so. Oh, these are going to be some fun ones. This is looking like a fun-ass, divisional round. Bills, Titans. I think, yeah, I'm going Bills with this one. Ravens, Bengals. Now let me tell you. Nobody loves to lose, divisional round playoff matches against divisional rivals like the Ravens. That being said, Ravens. I mean, these aren't going to be the exact playoff orders, so just let me wish. Okay, LA rematch against the Bucks. LA's just straight up a better team. Niners, Packers. Another rematch. The NFC's going pretty much exactly as it did last year. Because the NFC has not changed at all, really. Like, what's the big... Seahawks have gotten worse. Lions have gotten better. Packers have gotten worse, but will still probably win the division. Eagles are getting better. Like, there's no real big changes in the order for, in the, like, hierarchy in the NFC. I really want to be mean to the Packers, so we're going to have them beat the Niners. Why is that a mean thing to do to the Packers? I'll show you why. Because now, they get to lose in the NFC Championship. Again. And then, AFC Conference Finals. Bills beat the Ravens at home. This will be a great season for the Ravens. Not a lot of people are talking about them because of all the shenanigans going on in the AFC West, but like they have one of the most complete, arguably the most complete team in football, and I think they're going to be pretty dang good. But the Bills are just better, leading to a Rams-Bills Super Bowl. I think the Bills take it. And then next year, the Ravens take it. And then the year after that, the Broncos take it. And then... Actually, no. Will the Broncos win a Super Bowl with Russell Wilson? I don't think so. I don't think they will. I think the AFC is just too tough of a conference. So I think in the future, with the current cores of all the teams, I think the Rams will probably win another one. Niners will probably win one. I don't see the Bucks or the Saints or the Eagles really winning a Super Bowl, even though I think the Eagles will be a good team for the next, like, decade. I can see Kansas City winning another one, going on a revenge tour. Bills winning one. Ravens winning one. Maybe Titans, but no, I think they're due for a downturn. And, you know what? Screw it. Maybe the Broncos will win one, but that's way in the future. So yeah, here's the playoff bracket. I think this all makes sense. So tell me your NFL predictions. This has been a 44-minute long video. To be honest with you, that's kind of short for what I was expecting. I expected this to be like a 2-hour long video, considering it's the entire NFL season. But you know, when you scratch off a game for one team, you scratch off a game for another team. So they actually weren't faster than I imagined. So go ahead and make fun of me in the comments. I do have a god complex, so I will strike them all down. No, I won't. Maybe I will. We'll see. See you guys in the next video.